So, everybody watch the dog's behavior, not the tricks necessarily, but watch the dog's behavior. Where are her ears? Where are her eyes? What does her tail look like? Where's her weight? Like what shifted forward, shifted back. Did anybody see anything weird with her mouth a few seconds ago? Chattering a little bit? Okay. So, and I've been doing this 17 years, so don't worry. But this is what I look at when I look at the dogs, too. And we saw in the very beginning a little bit of shaking as well.
Yes, of course it does shake.
A little bit of shaking as well, so a little nervy. Because she's in a new place. But for being in a new place she's never been, she's not doing bad at all. Now, everything is also being done from in front. So part of why I'm having you do all this too is we want to start changing the pictures up, because most time we don't walk with the dog walking backwards in front of us, right? So, because she'll go into heel for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Put her in heel.
Oh, we'll try it here.
We'll try it.
No problem. Sookie, heel. You're not going to. Okay. Heel.
Good. Yes.
Good girl.
There you go. And we just started the new game of yes and everything too, and you'll get performance.
Sit.
Good. But try to think of when you're doing all of your obedience practicing, you commonly probably do it in front. So see if she'll go into heel and sit, but then see if she'll down.
Heel.
In that left hand side.
Sit. Yes. Down.
Yes, there you go. Girl. Because then you start to show the dog that not only does obedience apply just in the house, in front, it applies on the left hand side or on the right hand side, if you're on the right hand side. Or you flip them over and teach them right hand side. Because my foos means heel on my left and my right side means heel on my right. And the dog can learn the difference. Okay there? A little more sneeze or hiccup there. Good. So her main issue too, because again, she does pretty well outside of the house, and the dog's coming in. I don't know if I have, because Ruby's pretty dog friendly. Why don't I have you, are you brave?
Yes, she's
pretty brave.
She is. Okay. She's been my Mufasa guinea pig lots of times.
Oh no, the best was Casey.
Oh, bring your high value treats. Bring your dog, and you don't also say be brave. We'll just have you sit over there. I'm going to bring Rumi out, and when I bring Rumi out, I'm going to probably lesson play her a couple of times, but we'll see what she does. And what I want you to do with her is similar to what we were doing kind of at the window. Check it out, right? Okay. Because as soon as she sees Rumi, she's either going to do one or two things. She's going to ignore her, she's going to look at her, right? If she looks at her but she doesn't react, we can start to say, check it out, yes, and pay. If she looks at her and reacts, see if you can call her or have her without necessarily making it really negative, right? Okay. And if she's reacting too much, I'll bring Rumi out here where she can't see her and we'll work from behind, okay? But I figure I'll walk her out and we'll just see what she does, because that's part of what this is supposed to be about for her as well. But makes sense, right? So if she doesn't react, I want to check it out, yes, pay. And then let her look again, check it out, yes, pay. Let her look again, check it out, yes, pay. So that you're doing rapid reinforcement. Okay. A common thing that we also forget is that we go yes, pay, and then we just kind of wait. I want the dog not having that second, really, those 5 seconds in a way of just going, well, now what? I want the dog going, look at it, yes, pay. All right, look at it, yes, pay. Look at it, yes, pay. Okay, and right now we do it rapidly. So rapid reinforcement is check it out, yes, pay. Check it out, yes, pay. Check it out, yes, pay. And you kind of think of that breath in between. And then as the dog starts just going, screw the other dog, I don't care. Then you start to do duration. Now we start to elongate between the yeses, all right? So you can do that as, she starts not looking at Rumi, but we'll see what she does right away.
Are you gonna be good?
I always forget to mark it. I just say yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, it.
Well, marking it is yes.
I know.
So you forget to say yes.
I forget to say, like I say, you know how you always say, like, sit, yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Or, like I'll say sit, and then I just say, when they do it, I'm like, yes. And then I always forget to add the,
like what they're doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're never wrong in just guessing. Like if you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to say check it out, or I forgot to say sit. It's okay, as long as they're doing something that you can say yes to, you're fine just saying yes right now. Because I want them thinking everything they do right is going to get paid, because that's how you develop a new habit. You don't develop and you develop other habits negatively too, but you develop the good habits, the ones you want, by getting them reinforced right away. So if you're like, shoot, I forgot to say check it out, just try to start saying it. Just try to start marking or cueing it, basically. Because I want to get the behavior, then say the word or phrase associated with it. That's step 2. Then say yes.
Not everybody wants to take breaks.
So if she's checking it out appropriately, I'm going to say check it out. If she's snarling and barking, I'm not going to say check it out because that's not my definition. I'm going to be like,
You're supposed to be trained.
and then when she does that, yes. Right? She's like, wait a minute.
I think your mommy lies. I think you're a really good
Yeah, it's over there.
I think your
Really
mommy
grab.
lies about you.
I sent you the video too. You saw Jameson.
I have yet to see her try to kill anything.
Oh, you didn't see Jameson's stitches in his face?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well,
You sent me pictures of it. I still didn't see her do it.
well, I'm sorry. Next time I'll say, pause the fight, please. I'd like to get a video for Jamie.
Yes.
Good girl.
Yes, Nico ruined my baby's perfect ear. It's a little jagged on one edge now. You know how much I like ears.
It's okay. I don't think the puppy's ears are going to stand out. Puppy's ears are going to stand out.
I like droopy ears though, so that would be perfect for me. I can't wait for you to get it. I've been about to call that band place and be like, listen.
They're just waiting.
When's the thing getting neutered so long?
I'm going to get a hold of her tomorrow and ask. They said that will happen by the Husky hunting, which is the 19th.
Of course. Get that.
He went into the vet for a wellness check last week, so I'm assuming they're scheduling the neutering any day now. Let's go.
So here's Rumi.
Yes.
Yes. There you go. That's what we're looking for. Rumi. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
She's like, you know, thanks,
You don't grow it. She's like, oh.
Sookie.
Yes.
You know where the things are.
Girl. She's like, whoa. Rumi, come. Susie?
Yes. Yes. Good girl.
Great. There you go. That's one of the
Yes.
There. Perfect.
Yes. Oh,
And so then this time too, as she looked, because she didn't growl, she didn't snarl, she didn't anything, right? So as she looks, then start checking out.
I'm out of treats.
Oh.
Grab me the bag, please.
Yes.
This one's yours, right?
Yeah. She like somehow got it all in my hand.
She's like, come on, come on.
Yeah, she also makes the paying look super easy too. And I swear, I always have the bag on the wrong side or the leash in the wrong
I tend to have the
hand.
bag, so that's a good tip for me, actually, reminder me. I have the bag on the opposite side that I have the dog, too. So if I'm walking on the left-hand side, come on, turn and sit. Thank you.
Yes.
Then I can go, sit.
Yes.
And then I can reach,
Yes.
and I can drop the bag. I can handle it, whatever I want.
Yes. She doesn't like check it out. We've been using look.
Or look, okay.
Check it out seems to be like, I don't know, too many words for her. I don't
So,
know.
I'm sorry, use what you're comfortable with.
Look has been working really good. Check it out. Like, what do you mean? Sookie. Yes.
So then take, look, like basically take 2 steps forward so that you're kind of coming forward 2 sidewalks, or 2 squares.
Yes.
Good.
Sookie.
Yes, there you go.
Look. Yes.
And you stay there. And then I go here. Sit. Good.
Yes.
And then you take 1 step forward as well. Wait. Yes. Good. Wait.
Look.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And all we're doing, so this is kind of the object, is to teach the dogs that they can be in a proximity. And you see how her paw is raised? Because that's the other thing I want everybody to look for.
I could not see it. She was right above me.
Hey, Rumi, come here.
Yes.
I know. You know what?
So that means they're calm when they're
So,
raise
nope,
their
paw
paw?
up is anxious.
Oh, okay.
Paw up means a little anxiety. She's not sure what she's, doing and where we're, oh, wrong one. Let's not do that one.
Yeah, but we have one that her paw is always up.
And that, I think I told you from the get-go a little bit too, probably because of her stress level, like her, a little bit more of her. So when
I've always got one. Her coconut always has one paw up.
And what I typically do then is I don't yes until the paw starts going down. Because it might be an inadvertent, like she's been yes a lot with paw up, so now it's just a habit. And so I would go, she's always done sit, or I go lay down, or when she's sitting, wait for her to just weight shift, and when she puts it down, then you say yes. Only because it's standing on 4
I love how she's looking at me like, don't you see all the nice stuff I'm doing?
And she's hungry. She did not eat dinner tonight. She didn't go swimming, but she didn't eat dinner. So all of these things is what I want to look for in body language, especially when I'm looking at dogs. Because I don't let them approach and meet each other the first few times. So we talked about that with puppy. We're gonna let the puppy be in a kennel and her going around the kennel so the puppy's safe. They get used to each other, and then she can go in a kennel or a different area so the puppy can come out. If we can exchange bedding and towels, and then we pair the scent with chicken, like, oh look, the puppy was on this blanket, you get chicken for laying on it. You get chicken for smelling it.
I don't know if she'll give up her blanket.
You can go to that.
I don't know if she'll give up her blanket.
Well, not necessarily with the puppy. The puppy,
Okay.
like you bring the puppy blanket in by her, and if you bring the puppy blanket in by her after the puppy's been on her, a t-shirt, then you actually start to have her like sniff at it, and you go yes, and you toss food on it. Because then you're pairing a scent and odor with good things. How do you think we teach dogs how to search for and find people? We pair the odor with great things. If you find this odor, you get paid. With your ball, your chicken, yes. With anything that's good, settle. Yes.
She doesn't look like she hates people.
She didn't come in this time, we'll do it, no. We worked on it a lot. I mean,
So if I went over,
stand up.
I was gonna say if I went
Don't
over to
come in
her,
early, but just stand up.
can I walk a couple steps?
Sure.
Hi. See, I thought she was telling lies about me too.
Let's go. Turn. And sit. Oh, and sit. Quiet. Yes. And I see the tail. You're doing very well. So, yeah, she has stranger danger. But, Rumi, come. Exit. Yes. There you go.
Does she do better when you bring her to people instead of
No, we don't
there?
really let her do that too much. Honestly, like that's how to do with the dogs.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm quiet. Thank you. Here we go. Good, Lena. Very good. But I don't necessarily want her to approach wrong. So if she can't even kind of control herself at this distance,
You don't let her go.
she doesn't go forward. Distance is our friend. And most of hers is out of fear. Yes, by even looking away. So when did I say yes to that behavior? When she looked away from what she was previously concerned about. And that's ultimately even with Sookie, if she's looking away, right? We can pay her to look forward. Okay. We can also pay her to look away. It's like she's not concerned. Because she's like, why are you barking?
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Yes.
She knows all the good spots to pet. Huh, don't I?
Good. Yes. Because ultimately, we don't want her to approach incorrectly.
Right.
We want her to be in a pattern. And really, in all reality, she doesn't have to approach anybody. Just because, you want to pet her, right? You know these rules.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
Rules. We don't let everybody necessarily do that. And for certain dogs, they have bubbles. But I don't want her lunging.
Yeah.
I want her learning, sit. Yes. Good. And I want her sit, stay. Well, I'll do it with an easy hand. Nice to meet you. Stay. Nice to meet you. Yes. Okay, the dog.
She did good.
Good. Yes. And then we go away. So everything I'm doing, you can do with Sookie, but also with your own dogs, because even with the greetings with dogs, and even with Tanner, we want that distance. We practice that distance. And people knows first, but we practice the sit, the stay, the high, the low, and then we go forward more.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Sit, stay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How do you get to Chick-fil-A from here? Do you know those directions?
Yeah, you go that way.
Yes. And what did you do with your hand? What did I anticipate her doing with her hand? Because when did I say yes immediately? Right? Yes. As soon as you did your hand, so she went down. Oh. Ah. People moving doesn't have to trigger. People moving doesn't have to trigger the dog. Close up. Yes, good girl. And she's nice and settled even too. So she could be getting lots of, and I know you've been doing it, so, yeah.
And what does she do out there when she walks to the people that are watching the dogs?
No problem.
Oh, because she knows
No problem.
She's gained they've gained her trust.
Yeah. Most of the people here just gain your trust over time and being able to have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah. And you see how that one was check it out and she immediately looks back. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. When they know a definition, they actually will then start the next step of it. When they first start, it's just going to be check it out and they're going to be like, what? But the next step is going to be check it out. Yes. So they go, oh, usually you say check it out and I'm supposed to turn my head and get my food, right? And in the beginning, though, they're just going to look at it, and then food's going to come right in front of them. So it might just simply be, as we walk forward,
Hey, I did what you wanted. Bring my treat, no?
right? Yes. As soon as she looks away, that's where I would start saying check it out. But since she knows check it out means to look back at me now, but that's where you can start with your own. The moment she looks at her, but she's not reacting, that's check it out, yes, and then food goes right in front of her. That's check it out, yes, and food goes right in front of her. And then suddenly she comes check it out and she goes, hi. What did you want to give me?
She's like,
Yeah.
what
And
am I looking at? There's no window.
Then I can start asking for your quiet and you sit and everything else, right? Rumi.
So
Yes.
My dog does that. Like I treat to
Okay.
get her by things. So
I don't even try to.
sometimes now she'll see a dog
You don't let her jump.
that's off in the distance and she'll look up at me like, do I get a treat for that? And so I'm giving her a treat. But the problem is when she, like sometimes she doesn't react to what's out there, and sometimes she does, and it's
Okay. So what are you saying before you give her the treat would be my question. Because ultimately, it's all about timing, right? If you're just doing this, where's the dog looking if I'm just doing this?
at the bag.
At the bag, at my hand,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm just doing this, she's not really thinking or listening. She's just going, why aren't you giving me the chicken? So ultimately, I want it to be more of looking at you. So if she's checking something out, and then she looks at you, Rumi, yes. Then she gets paid. So I think you're probably ordering the food for just looking. I would start saying what that's supposed to be. So if she looks at it, before you bring the food, I would be like, check it out. Yes. And then I would bring the food, and then I would pay the way she does. So it's all about the timing of things and the sequence of events.
Yeah.
So if you're just giving food, then she's just like, look, food, look, food, look, food. I want her thinking, look, and then you can then be quiet, and then you can teach her what. Okay there? All right. There you go. Yes. Good. Right. Yes. Yep. But then you, instead of just feeding, and that's a common thing. We commonly just give food because we want to use food. It's how you use the food that ultimately matters. It's on me. She knows it's on me, but how is she going to earn it? She's got to earn it by simply doing the right thing. Check it out. Yes. And then pay.
I didn't say yes. Why do you?
She said, Julie there. Yeah, but Julie did. Good. Look.
You sure are cute, Rumi.
Yes.
Yeah, you just want to pet her.
I know. I've been waiting months to pet her. She's like, she just reminded us.
I know you want to, but I don't want nobody touching me. She's like, I gotta have trust before someone can touch me.
And how old is she?
She's 10 months.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's super good with dogs. She's still a puppy. She's hit her fear period, her adolescent stage, her teenage stage. But once she knows you and trusts you, random. I've had her a few times. Yeah, four or five times now for a little bit. I got her first back in December. I took her for I think for like a week or 10 days or so. She's come in a few times since. Yes. She's great with other dogs. She actually has come a long way with people already.
Yeah.
And all of her obedience, like you see, she comes back. You see, when you sit. That's good of you. I stopped playing.
I'm just trying to figure out how
Rumi.
to do the whole thing with my hand.
Thank you. Go down, please. Thank you. Good. Can you touch? Oh. You want to touch? You don't want to touch. You touch that way. Little ball.
I don't remember exactly.
But all of her obedience is where I start, and then it's the emotional state of just even the distance. So I do not let dogs just run up to another dog or run up to a person. And even in my classes, I tell people no socializing, no nose-to-nose contact right away. Just bring them in with a mission, lure them, let them look, but then bring them back to you. If you can get them back to you, then we can start saying you can approach the other dog. But if they just always approach the other dog or approach the person, they're going to make mistakes. And ultimately, in a dog like this, or Tanner, or any dog that's reactive, they're going to make a mistake that we don't like. And we don't want to have that happen. So it's ultimately about 3 feet, 5 feet distances, and then teaching them this is what you do. When we approach her, we say, hi, you're going to sit and you're going to stay. I can have that conversation. You don't react to her. You don't bark at her or lunge at her, but you don't have to be pet either. And it's ultimately my job then as her advocate to say, I'm sorry, Jamie, she's just not a dog you can pet. I know you want to squish her, but she's like, and as you remind her, no, I don't want to be pet.
Yeah. She's like, yes, I am cute. Let's stay back.
She's like, yeah, I'm cute, but I'm only for a couple of years. And we also have that decision making. Do you want to be hugged by every stranger on the street?
See,
any person walking up, do you want them to hug you? And if your answer is no, why do we expect the dog? Sometimes they do that, right? And I don't. Like I go, they have a choice. If Harper, she runs right. I want you to squish me, love me, hug me. Great. She's that kind of dog. And then if she's done, she'll go away, or she'll kind of like, all right, well then I'll have you come back because you're saying you smell funny. But ultimately, it's the dog's decision, just like it's our decision. So we give them that choice.
And goes the exact opposite. He absolutely
loves
thinks every
people,
person
yeah.
that was there just to yeah.
And that's laughingly what I actually had said the first time. I was like, dude, she's the exact opposite of him.
Yeah.
So You know, but it just his experiences and exposure. She's also a winter puppy. It's really hard over winter to get them out and exposed to people and do all that. So, and December, she was 3.5, 4 months old in December. And it's, it's tricky when the weather's bad and it's cold and you don't see anybody. So now everybody's out, and she was like you can see in her eyes, oh my God. She had a mini stroke. she was like,
I took
she's doing good
every single week for in the winter.
Lowe's lets you bring dogs in too, and now they're starting to go, oh, hi, Sookie.
Yeah.
And that's when you said Lowe's, I was like, we might have to make a couple trips.
Yeah.
Because we did. We went to Booster's Booty with some of the bars downtown. They have really good appetizers, by the way. But John's Dock, Booster's Booty, there's the old Chancer, what is it called, like Third Town Pizza or something. We tried the girls.
Let you bring dogs there?
On the outside patio.
Really?
Yeah. We went to Booster's Booty yesterday. Huh. Yep. It was her first time out at the patio bar, and it really is about exposure. So, kind of going into the exposure of things, bring your dog. There's usually going to be people and dogs.
Yeah. A lot of them in downtown Kenosha, if they have an outdoor patio, will let you bring your dog.
Bring your dog too, right?
I've even had some of them come out with bowls of water. Your dog looks thirsty.
Exactly, and I love that, because I forgot my bowl, and she's like, do you need a bowl of water? I'm like, sure. Yeah, actually, that'd be great. And we were one of the people there yesterday. It was like 46 degrees. Sam and I went, and she brought Kramer, her little puppy, and I brought Rumi. So it was perfect exposure because there was not really a lot of people, but there was 5 or 10 people kind of that came through 1 or 2 at a time. And I have videos of that where she woo-hoo, and then she's like, okay, I can handle it. By the end of that hour and a half, she was passed out on the bench sleeping. Yeah. And not caring about who was walking by. So those are also mini exposures of, can you bring her to an area that only has a couple of dogs? And, if you go and there's like 50 people on the patio, I might say, no, don't bring Tanner. But if you go and there's only a few people, or we can just go.
That's like dogs.
Yeah, And in worst case, you bring a basset muzzle and you make it safe so that you're not having a heart attack. And if they go, why is he wearing a muzzle? You say, oh, he picks up stuff. Like seriously, that's an easy excuse, honestly. Because if he's not gonna, or if he's just gonna react, she reacted. And the waitress was like, whoa. I was like, come sit. And she's like, okay, done. And the waitress was like, oh, okay. I'm like, sorry. Like she has a little stranger danger, but she's controllable. And that's where your obedience comes in. If you're having the dog go, they're going to be like, you can't have that dog here if you can't control it. Same thing with the dog park. That's why
they're actually better at Home Depot than they are even at Pet Supplies Plus. Like if you want a place to take your dog, the employees are really helpful. Especially like if you tell them that you're training, they'll I've had them say, oh, what do you want to do? Do you have a treat? Whatever. I mean, if
just stand there and let me walk by you is really what
I was going to say. That's happened to me at Lowe's too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I want to drive all the way up to.
But you think
I don't want to drive all the way up to Home Depot.
I think it's because at the pet store they probably see so many pets a day that they're not used to it. But at Home Depot, that's why I started going there so much, was because they were so helpful and the employees liked them so much. So So anyways,
we talk about and we talk about all these exposure things, and ultimately that is how you modify aggression and reactivity. Really, you have to expose them, but we want to expose them when they're ready. So that means the obedience behind them. It means the incompatible behavior. It means starting to teach them, because if she's ignoring her and she's ignoring her, yes. Because then they start to learn how to be in the same room.
I just need to buy her a house apparently, so she doesn't feel like it's her house.
She goes, I lost the other 2 dogs. That's therefore.
No, that's when she started to go nuts.
Which is why it's tricky, because they're so your puppy's so far away. Like otherwise, I might bring the scent up. But
it's hard to south of O'Hare Airport. So.
Well, I'm wondering though, do they have Skype or video that they could send you of the noises the puppy makes? Because you could start pairing the
foster
noises.
Parents don't even text.
Oh.
So no, I haven't asked about anything else because they don't even text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because even if
I don't know,
I know it's can you
actually got the phone and
you actually have to talk about it.
It was awful.
How does that go?
I don't know.
But could you call and put your phone on speakerphone with the puppies in the background?
There's 9 puppies though, so I'm wondering how.
But still, the noises would tell you how she reacts. Because if she's like, what's going on? Or if she's like, then we start doing chicken and good stuff and sit and listen to the puppies, and you could turn the volume down so it's low and then build it up. So maybe a conversation for 10 minutes and just let them be in the puppy room.
Well,
you might be able to do that.
I'm sure she'd be with that.
Yeah. It's just another way of exposing her beforehand, because then you see how she reacts. And, Rumi heard a puppy on the TV and was like, Harper was like, oh, I gotta take care of the baby. I'm like,
Yeah, and anytime
And
there's,
she's like, why are you crying?
anytime there's barking or any type of animals on TV, if I'm watching a video on the phone or whatever, she like has no reaction.
No reaction, no, yeah.
Nico will jump off the couch at the TV.
But it might be too then where she might separate your puppy into a room where it could do a little barking or whining, and you could pair that particular bark or whine with the good stuff. Because again, even just that little exposure for 5 or 10 minutes might really help her. Just like, oh, that's his cry, and it's chicken.
She does frog legs too.
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
no issues with her hips.
Yeah, no. I know. Nico.
Frog dog.
Yeah.
But does that kind of make sense for everybody? Anybody have questions right now?
Okay, are you gonna have some like territory aggression on your?
Oh, I do. What's the specific question? I'm sorry.
No, we don't need to go into that or anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As long as you're gonna have.
There's a
some.
little bit on there.
Okay.
And even actually one other thing, if you have just come with,
Yeah.
I apologize, but
No, that's all right.
the other, even going into the whole territorial thing, the territorial, we commonly want to reach out. We commonly want to have people hand treats, or we commonly want to, tell the dog to step forward to meet another dog or to go say hi. I actually encourage owners to not allow those things. So even the hand, right? And I think we talked about that too. But the hand, for everybody else, is if a hand goes forward, you're actually presenting a bite target to that dog. Because if a hand goes into their space and they're feeling threatened already, free kisses. But if your hand goes into their space, you want it loaded with something that's so high value, like a bunch of chicken, that they wouldn't have any doubt about trying to bite it. But in a high state of arousal, they're not thinking of chicken, they're thinking just get you to go away. So generally, I will tell people, like for people aggression or for introductions with people or even the other dogs, don't hand it specifically to the dog. Don't have someone hand it specifically to the dog. Actually just go yes and toss it at the dog. Because now that being tossed at the dog teaches them that nothing has to come into my space. And between two dogs or in a multi-dog household, if you're handing something to one dog, what does the other dog want to do? Right? So a lot of times it's sit, stay. We put basics on separate, but then we can toss it to the one, we can toss it to the other, right? And then we can start handing. As they get better, then we start handing things. But right now, I don't reach forward. I don't, put it in the dog's face. I usually toss it at the dog, toss it at the dog, which also means in a potentially aggression situation that you have, you might have a back tie or somebody holding a leash, just to make sure that there's no confrontation over that.
Yeah.
Individual first, but then bring them out together. Bring Sarabi out, but she's over here in a stay or back tied, to the couch or to a person.
Or you use your friend's husband as bait.
Yes. There you go. Yeah.
No, we didn't.
I made her husband be bait for Mufasa.
There you go. I like how you worded that. Be bait for Mufasa.
I was like, oh, perfect. You're wearing a hat. Mufasa doesn't like hats. Come on.
And so I actually anticipated Rumi barking at her hat. She didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. And she didn't. So, no, she barked at you instead. But that was the approach. But it was the approach. Once she realized you approach, she was like, I don't want you to approach me. All right, that's fine. We'll come back and sit. Right? Yeah. So that's kind of what it did.
Once you realized I
got it covered, you don't have to carry on. And you told me, but you don't. And that was half-hearted on her part. Yeah. Usually she's actually, she can be a little bit rough. She's come a long way. She's tired. And you can see that. You're exhausted. But territorial-wise, too, is it more when he's coming into the house, or when people are coming into his turf, right?
Yeah.
House or backyard? Well, both. So the basket muzzle,
Yeah.
Off leash is better, though, right? With him?
No, we haven't quite been doing that.
Okay.
We've been
I know
doing
you-
a tie out in the backyard,
Okay.
but then my girlfriend told me one that, was like, okay,
Yeah.
tie out with her. What do you do?
Check it
Bark
out.
the whole time. Well, most of the time.
Well,
Settles
behind the deck.
behind the deck, so you got the deck, but you can see her, okay?
Okay.
And my sister came over the next day, we're like, let's get him off the tile, let's just have the leash,
Okay.
get the muzzle. She sat on the deck, too, a different chair, because I know what she said, he's picturesque.
Yeah, he's
whatever.
very futuristic, yeah.
He could sit right there and see her plain as day. Check it out, yes, not one
It's
peep.
totally different.
Not one peep. He
Okay.
got 3 feet away from her, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm like, okay, let's recover.
Okay.
It's kind of like when he was shielded behind the deck, he couldn't get full view.
Yeah.
So
But he was also on that tie out, so that's what we're like,
He's
what's
like
going
feeling
on?
restrained or something like
Exactly.
that, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it ultimately is playing with it, unfortunately, with him, too. And it could also be odors. I think we talked about that, too. Always pay attention to as weird as it may seem, if your friends come over and they have cologne or perfume on,
Sure.
or there's somebody walking down the street that just smells funny, the dog's gonna react to that too. Like they might be like, oof, just stay away. No different than what we do. They smell more than we do. So I always, when people are going to come over and test that, please don't wear any scented lotion or high cold or something like that. But that's another option if you know people are going to be coming over more. Can you bring in scent to the territory before they come? Friends are being invited. Would all of your friends give you a t-shirt for a little bit? Like just as just so that you bring out one t-shirt on Monday and it's paired, the next t-shirt on Tuesday and it's paired. Check it out.
Now for that, Tarko, when we go camping, if somebody is smoking,
Okay.
She does not.
Those nuts. Yep.
even if they don't have a
It's
cigarette
bad
on,
for
if
you.
she smells it,
She
she is
well, cigarettes do
mean.
I agree with it.
I mean,
And the dogs, they can recognize certain
Yeah.
things too.
So if somebody's a smoker, that might affect the dog too, because that just turns her right off.
Yeah. Especially noises. Like, Rumi's a big noise phobic, and that's kind of why I thought with the puppy, the noises, you can start paying use the noises and not the scent right away with your puppy and making it easier.
I say I don't think noises are good. She sleeps through everything.
No, I meant the puppy noises.
Oh, the puppy noises.
Yeah. Just because we your goal is, I want the puppy to be the coolest thing she could ever think of. Not something to kill, the coolest thing she could ever think
Not
of.
a possum.
Right? So, like in Tanner, it could be all your friends, if they're willing, because they're already willing to come over, can they give you an article of clothing or something that smells like them just to borrow for a week, and then, hey, we've paired it, let's try you on Saturday. Hey, we've paired it Monday through Friday, let's try you coming over on Saturday. Because even those little things can go a really long way, no personals. Sure. I don't want that. I can just see you like
I don't want your baby to wear anything, but
I don't need the bra.
Well, you want to that really smelled like me.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, but I mean, again, and it doesn't have to be like necessarily something they just wore either. It could just be out of a drawer that they rub their scent on. They just rub their scent on it. How do we train dogs to go and find other things? Is we actually have a scent pad for them. Whether we stomp it in the ground and someone walks and they follow the scent pad that's there, or it's a scent like, this is my t-shirt, this is what you're doing. Check it out. Yes, good girl. And you kind of see exactly what I just did with her, right? She looked and she's like, yeah, control yourself, you get paid. Doesn't have to move. So really, quiet, check it out, sit, settle, whatever obedience you could put on. And then we start introducing it with other dogs and bringing it outside. Okay? But scent is a very powerful source for Tanner. And if we can pair that scent with good things, we can pair noises with good things. She's a very noise-sensitive dog. She's a winter puppy. Where they live is a condo, that's a high-rise condo, and there's not a lot of other stuff because there was 3 empty condos around them. And now there's people living there. So, we have some of these other things that we're kind of working with. And I had the mailman come up, or mail lady come up to the door today, and my screen door was there. All the dogs were out. She comes up the stairs, I hear this woof, woof. I'm like, okay, check it out. And Harper's like, roar. So, okay, out, come, touch. They both came over and touched. And the mail lady went like this. And I'm like, hi. First time my door was ever open. But she's like this. And I'm like, hi. She's like, hi. They're not gonna, no. And Rumi's like, oh. And I'm like, quiet. Yes. Same as I would do here. And she turned off. So it's a noise that I never showed her, but she actually reacted appropriately too. Tell me it's there. It's a good girl for telling me to say bark. If your dog barks or your dog is barking at something, good. Thank you for telling me. I can say that. I can say it's your dog, but then I want to go quiet, turn off. I have it covered. You don't have to keep barking, right? You told me that there was a squirrel or there was another dog. Good girl. Come. Quiet. Yes. There you go.
And how back did you find some place that lets you have a husky, a Doberman, and a Rottweiler there?
How did I what?
How did you find a place to rent that lets you have that?
I rent the house, and they actually knew I do lodge and learn, so it was a stipulation when I rented it. Yeah, because I have business
All
and
three of
insurance
those.
and
I was
everything
gonna say
else.
all 3 of those are on the pay.
Harper is my ESA dog too. She actually is a prescription dog.
Okay.
That was one of the first. I have BPD, and it's just my dogs have always been part of my life with that.
Yeah.
So even Guinness was. But that was her stipulation as a Doberman. But my insurance covers her. So as long as your renter's insurance covers the dog, they actually were not that. And they meet my dogs. Well, I generally say, come meet my dog. And that's the tricky part. But they can meet Harper, they can meet Guinness. I'm like, any dog you want to meet modular-wise, just let me know and you can come in and meet them. Yeah, distance, but you can meet them.
I had to put off my wedding and buy a house first. So
Okay.
Because of my first Rottweiler.
Got it. Yeah, well, and it's not the breed. It's blame the deed, not the breed. But yeah,
I was like, yeah, we're gonna get married next year. This year we're gonna be buying a house. So
hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
Now you're committed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not.
You signed a contract before we signed a contract.
I'm not getting rid of my dog.
Yeah. Did you guys have to go? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But any questions before you go? Like anything? I kind of cover what you were starting to do with coconut too. So basket muzzle across the same exercises. Same exercises. Can the D unleash across the room? We start checking out. It's going to do some obedience. We have the basket muzzle and coconut if we need to. If you start to desensitize it, I do a video online where I'm desensitizing Bailey to the basket muzzle.
Okay.
So there's links. There'll be links in that handout for that.
Okay.
So you can start the same desensitization for the basket muzzle, teaching her how to wear it before we ever introduce the other dog. So, because I don't want them thinking the gentle leader goes on when I meet a dog, the basket muzzle goes on when she comes over. I knew I hated her.
That's what I'm afraid of, because that's one of the things she doesn't like is that dog.
Yeah, so, but we do the muzzle first, we bring her out in the yard with the muzzle, we do it with charcoal, we do it, for fun, we do it for chicken, we wear it around, we wear it on a walk, and then it comes off during the walk.
Okay.
Like, we just start showing her it's just like a collar. And then we introduce it, hey, it's on you, and then the dog comes over. And then we go, oh! Yeah, same thing, but now you just can't do anything. And as they get better, then we give them more freedom, and then she learns she can't hurt her. And then the other dog can learn a little bit more of either correction from you, being able to call the dog away. Because I think that part of it too is very energetic, right?
Oh yeah.
The other one, yeah. Not that coconut's not, but that might be setting her off too.
Yeah. Now is it maybe because it's at a house?
Could be territorial, absolutely. So I mean, a meeting off property would be another option. Have you ever met in a park? Have you ever gone for a walk, elsewhere where you're maybe 10 feet apart? And usually when I go for a walk with the second dog, I'll start off 10 feet apart, and then I'll stop after a little bit, and I'll let the other dog go 10 feet ahead for a little while, then they'll stop, and we'll just keep switching. So it's not always like, well, you're in front of me, well, you're behind me. No, we're just switching. We're just going to take turns, and then they just continue to go for a walk. And look, there's chicken, and all the same obedience applies, and this isn't as bad. So tricky with 3, but easier with 2.
Well, charcoal's fine
Yes.
with the other dog.
Yeah. Well, even like if you're just starting the walks and you only have 2 people, then charcoal might have to stay at home.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She does a lot. She'd rather stay home and play.
Rather stay? Okay. All right, well, there
She'd
you go.
rather lay on the couch and look out the window.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
Yeah, she'd rather look out the window. Coconut's the
Yeah.
one that wants to go.
The coconut.
Did I tell you I think my neighbor works here?
Who's your
Her
neighbor?
name's Amy, and she's blonde, and she has St. Bernards. I saw
Oh,
her.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, am I crazy? I saw her.
No, I'm just really tired. I was like, because I'm thinking nighttime.
Yeah,
That is my brain.
She
I'm
looks
like,
like
no,
about
that's not second or third shift.
She looks about
Yeah, she works from like 5:30 to 1. Yeah. She'll go to some of our booster root trips and stuff too. Not that often, but.
Actually,
Oh my
when
God.
Stephanie was trying to rehomed
Yes.
some of her St. Bernards, I told her I might know somebody who'd be interested, and that was who I was talking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because she had 3, but then 1 died.
Yeah,
So then
we
she's done
euthanized Amelia, cancer, and then we euthanized Amelia, and then Kahlua she rehomed.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh,
Yes.
we'll wait.
But if there's any questions like that pop up, feel free to always ask and call and text. Otherwise, I will send you the handout, like I said, that kind of covers a lot of things. And some of like veterinary visit fear and stuff was in there, but nobody really had that issue right this second. So a lot of what we've done, we've talked about. Is in there. But if there's any questions, you can always ask as well. But does that kind of make sense to start with your little one too?
Yeah.